Let's learn how to download and install Visual Studio Community 2017. You're going to want to go to this website, https://www.visualstudio.com/downloads/. Once you go to that website, you'll see this web page, and you're going to want to click on the Visual Studio Community 2017 free download. Click on that link and Visual Studio will be downloaded to your computer. It should automatically happen. If it doesn't automatically start the download, which you can see right here, then you can click on this link. But it should automatically start the download process for you. Once it looks like it's done, just open that file by clicking once on it. And it's going to ask if you want to go ahead and make some changes to your device. Click yes, and it will begin the extraction of the program. You might see a message pop up for the EULA, the End User License Agreement. Just click Continue. It will continue to download the file and unzip it so you can access the install program. Once it's ready to do the install, you'll see a window like this, which is prompting you to choose what you want to install. We want to install the Universal Windows Development. If you click on that, you'll see what you can install off on the right side. By default, you're going to get Visual Studio Blend and some other files you need, including something called NuGet Package Manager. The NuGet Package Manager allows you to download other libraries or other pieces of software to make your Visual Studio environment nicer and easier to use. Click .Net Desktop Development. In that, we already have some things selected, but I want you to also choose the .Net 4.6.2, the Framework 4.7, the Framework 4.7.1, and go ahead and choose SQL Server Express 2016 Local DB. Then I want you to choose ASP.NET and Web Development. Click that box, and everything that's selected is good, except I want you to add one more, ASP.NET MVC4. While we're here, go ahead and check Azure Development. Azure allows you to store databases out in the cloud or out on the internet for easier access. Now, we might not be able to get to this during the semester, but those that are going to try to get into the IS core, the Information Systems major, you'll be using Azure in a lot of your classes. In fact, you'll also use it in a data analytics course. As we scroll down, we can see there's other options we could choose. We don't really need anything else. If you were going to do data analytics, you could go ahead and choose data science and analytical applications. But we're not going to worry about that one. We could do mobile development. You can do game development. This allows you to make other libraries for Visual Studio and let other people use it. This allows you to create .NET applications that you can use on Linux, on Mac iOS or Mac operating systems, and also Windows. We won't need that either. So the three or the four that we want are ASP.NET Web Development, and we've added all the other options. The Azure Development, and notice that as you click on those again, they will uncheck, so make sure you're doing those right. The Universal Windows Platform Development and the .NET Desktop Development. Once you have those selected, go ahead and click Install, and the system will begin the operation. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and come back when we can continue. Once the installation has completed, you'll see a window like this, and hopefully it says Installation Succeeded. Let's go ahead and launch Visual Studio by clicking Launch, and this will start Visual Studio. First time it might take a little bit more time. The other thing it might do is it might actually display a window asking you to log in to Visual Studio to do a sign-in. If not, there's a window right here off to the right, a little link you can click on, that when you click on that, it says, what account do you want to use? If you do not have a Microsoft account yet, just click on Create One. I've already got an account, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. So I already entered in my username and password. You didn't see that on the screen. And then it shows that I am now logged into the system. So make sure you did create an account. The other nice thing is, being a BYU student, you'll have free access to Azure, which you might want that a little bit later. This is the opening screen for Visual Studio. So you're already there. You can go ahead and close that screen by clicking the X. Now that we've installed Visual Studio Community 2017 and we've logged in by creating an account, let's go ahead and create a brand new console application. Remember, console is just the non-graphical environment, like a command line. So let's go ahead and create that new project, because everything in Visual Studio is stored in a project. So click File, New, Project, and then we're just going to make a console application. So make sure you're working with C#, not C++. Visual C#. And then if you look over off to the right, you'll see one that says Console Application. And you have one that's a .NET Core or .NET Framework. We want to work with Framework. Remember that. .NET Framework is what we want to use in this class. So click Console App .NET Framework and give it a brand new name. You can call it My First Console App. And then click the OK button. Visual Studio will then go out there and lay the foundation for this brand new project, which will allow you to go and write the program or the source code within the console application. That allows you to control what you want the program to do. So here's the default information for the Visual Studio application. And if we wanted to, we could just come right here in between these curly braces, and you'll understand all this code a little bit later on in your class. And the first thing we want to do is now type in the word console. And remember, in Visual Studio C#, the programming language C#, it is case sensitive, meaning a capital C is different from a lowercase c. Console, period, right line, parentheses, double quote, go Cougars. And then make sure you end that line with the semicolon. This is your first program. Now if I ran this by clicking on the Start button, you're going to see a black window display and then disappear really quickly. And that's because the program goes out, it builds the program, or in other words, it makes sure that the code is correct, it displays the window, it displays Go Cougars, and then disappears. So we want to make that pause. We want to wait till the user presses a key. So now you can type in console.read key, parenthesis, parenthesis, semicolon. That says, and then click the Start button. That says run the program, display Go Cougars, and then wait for the user to press a key. So I'll just press the Enter key, and that ends the program. If I wanted to add comments, we could do a single line comment by doing // this is a single line comment, or I could do a /*, this is a multi-line comment. And the key is you need to make sure that you end it with a /*, no space in between those. You do not have to have these asterisks right here. I could delete those if I wanted. That's just a standard in C#. But this is now a multi-line, and that's a single line comment. Things that you'll want to use those for, make sure that you put your name in every program that you write. Author, and you could type anything you want. Author, Greg Anderson, and I could put a description of the program. This program is so awesome that I will sell it and make lots of money. And that allows me to type multiple line comments. Now, this button right here saves your program. I would save often if I were you. I can build it, which says go out and build the solution and make sure there's no program errors, and then you can run that. Comments are ignored when it builds the program. When the computer says take all these lines of code and turn it into something that it understands, it ignores comments. But comments are great for software developers, and it helps us to explain what's going on, who did the work, maybe what day you wrote it. Anything that will help somebody, including yourself, understand what is happening should be described with comments in your source code. And that's your first Visual Studio C# console application.